dear viewers and listeners, and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Not Wasting a Single Story. My name is Dr. Gamuchirai Mutezo, and I will be your hostess who will be poking guests around all themes waste management. As we always say, waste is not really what you see it to be. It's a resource, but we ought to have conversations that open up our minds to see this resource that it is. Today, I'm joined by a newfound friend. We've met before in other spaces, and I heard her speaking. I heard the work that she's doing, and I said, I need to have her on this hashtag green couch. I'll just introduce her by her name, Thando, so that the conversation flows and I also get to know more about her. At the end of this conversation, I'm really looking forward to finding out where she sees the opportunities, her experiences, and most importantly, to inspire all of us in our homes, in our businesses, in our schools, to continue seeing the different opportunities that waste has to offer. Right. Hi, Thando.
Hi, Dr. Kamala.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. Feeling a bit better, but I'm good.
Awesome. We haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah.
Last year, right?
Yeah, that's the last news. Yeah.
Well, I didn't get a chance to really find out. So, who is Thando? Where did she grow up? What did she study?
Yeah.
Who are you?
So, I'm Thando Mhlanga. I was born and bred in Ekurhuleni, Gauteng, and yeah, there's so much to tell. Yeah, my parents are born and bred in Gauteng, so I'm a city girl through and through.
Okay, Gauteng Line.
Yes. And I studied. My journey is very strange.
Bring on the strangeness. Let's hear it.
I studied film and television as an undergrad.
Okay.
But I didn't go that route.
Yeah.
Instead, my postgrad was on development studies.
Okay.
And that's how I ended up in this sector. I interned in the presidency when DPME was still part of the presidency.
Yeah.
And that's like Department of Planning, Monitoring, and Evaluation. And that's when like my eyes started opening up about what exactly I want to do. And I realized that I want to work with communities a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I ventured off to the civil society sector. Yeah.
Before we get into civil society, why film? What inspired you to say the lights, camera, and action?
So I actually am a theatre kid.
This keeps getting interesting.
Yeah. I did drama as an extramural. I loved it so much. Used to write scripts, used to direct and things like that. Even like at church, I would help out with those things. And my dad was like, "You're not studying that." He's like, "What are you doing?" No. So tried out studying marketing, hated it. Worked for a bit, then decided let me study film and television instead. Yeah. I was just really interested in the behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if ever we have to do a theatre production on the importance of waste management, is it a script that you might consider?
I love that idea. Yes.
Actually,
I love that idea.
You'd be keen.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first. Right here, I'm not wasting a single story. We are going to do a theatre production, and I'm going to be a tree. That's the one thing I did, just being a tree.
Really?
Or I can be a heap of compost.
And those are all important.
All right. Yeah, I mean, if we then delve into components of waste, trees, an important component. Let's get back to your interest in working with communities. Was there a particular experience that you had which really made you feel that I need to change gears here?
I'd say working for a national department and interning there, I felt like I was being boxed. And I just wanted to learn. I wanted my mind to just, I'm a creative. I believe I'm creative. So I needed to do something with my mind. I needed to help people. I needed my hands to get dirty. So I just didn't see myself being in the public sector um, while I'm young.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel at 40 or 50. So, so I was just like, I need to get out of here. I need to work for an NGO. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And I ended up in Cape Town.
Okay.
Yes. And working for an organization called Social Justice Coalition back in the day. And it was a culture shock for me. I was aware of the inequality in South Africa, but working in an informal settlement, literally the office is in informal settlements.
Yeah.
Seeing that and the struggles that people go through, it was a bit of a shock. Yeah. And also seeing that like majority of Black people are poor in South Africa. And a lot of them live in informal settlements. Yeah. And people are really scared of that reality. So when I saw that for myself, I was like, okay, I've got work to do here. So yeah, that's how I ended up in the sector.
And when you were having these experiences, were there any particular examples of what you saw which really say, Thando, you need to move and get your hands even dirtier than this? Was there that kind of life-changing experience that you had?
I'd say that people not having access to basic services was a bit of a not a bit.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah.
People not having access to toilets, water, waste removal services. Like that was for me where I was just like, no, this something has to be done. And also realizing that as I'd say also growing up in the I'd say middle class.
Yeah.
Although I was aware of poverty, I had a running tab with waste is collected at home every Friday.
Yeah.
There's a bin, but like seeing the vast difference and also people being afraid of that. I think that bothered me a lot. That my peers, people I know, people I might not know are really scared of that reality that they are people who don't have much.
Yeah.
And they form part of the society, they form part of South Africa. They make decisions like everyone else. Yeah. We have elections coming up, they're gonna vote. Yeah. And they would love to have access to the services that you have, and they would love to make a decision regarding like a bylaw when it comes to their waste, So for me, the big thing for me was literally realizing that there are people who are scared of that reality and they shouldn't be. We, whether you are in the middle class or you're not in the middle class, we live in one country. Yeah. And we have really big problems. And shutting it out, ignoring it, is not going to help. It's the same thing with waste. If we ignore the fact that there's waste and there's opportunities there, but if people don't, use those opportunities and they just create a dump site or, they use up the landfills or whatever, we have big problems together as Africans, I'd say.
Yeah. What you've said really hits home. From an urban planning perspective, these are some of the realities I was also exposed to. And I suppose it contributes to the reason why we don't want to waste a single story, because a lot of peri-urban and informal sectors were seen as dumping sites. And you wonder the implication thereof if the decision makers thought, what would it lead to from a socio-economic and environmental perspective? And that certainly motivated one to say, let's be intentional to have these conversations, such that if waste continues to be the problem that society is saying it will be, let's then be innovative, especially within these peri-urban areas. So I certainly resonate with that, let me call it catalytic moment when you decided, hey, I want to be part of the change that drives all of this. And since your Cape Town experience, where are you now? What are you up to?
I am in Joburg, in Gauteng. I still work in Cape Town. So the work that I do is focused on informal settlements in Tshwane, Cape Town, and Etureni. Cape. All depends. So the focus is actually on making sure that there is sustainable waste solutions and systematic waste solutions for informal settlements.
Systematic.
Yes.
Oh, you got my attention. Okay.
Yeah, systematic solutions for informal settlements. And the reason for that is we've seen in the work that I do, I work in an organization called International Budget Partnership, South Africa, very long.
Yes.
IBPSA. In short,
Okay, hold on. International
Budget
Partnership,
South Africa.
Can we add my toes? IBPSA. Got you.
It's too long. And we work on a campaign called Asivikelane. So this is the t-shirt.
All right. Well, let the viewers see it. Let's see.
Yes.
Okay. Got you.
And it's when COVID hit, we've been working with organizations that work in informal settlements for years.
Yeah.
But when COVID hit, man, we were stressed. We were stressed because there was a lot of, public announcements that cleanliness is important.
Yes.
Wash your hands. Like, how are you going to do that when you don't have a tap? How are you going to keep your environment clean when you don't have a bin?
Yes.
When you don't have waste service in your area, when you live in a dense area, how are you going to do that? So that's when we started Asivikelane. And the whole point of that was for community members to collect information, saying that, okay, was waste collected in their area or not this week? We used to collect it every 2 weeks, then became once a month, then bi-monthly. And we would share this information with the municipality and try to come up with solutions to fix that problem.
Hence the systematic.
I'm getting it.
Oh, okay. All right. This one is quiet. Continue.
So remember, this could be like one settlement, two or so that have a particular problem. Maybe their waste was not collected or there's a dump site. But we realized that actually that's not fixing the root of the problem.
Yes.
We need to think about the systematic problems to come up with the systematic issues.
Got you.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a very overzealous student.
I understand.
All right.
So systematic, what I mean by systematic, for instance, maybe the issue in a certain municipality is that they don't have a budget to provide, let's say, recycling bins. They might not have a policy that is conducive or that is, perfect for a particular informal settlement. So that's where the systematic comes up. If we change those small things, whether it is the financial management public financial management systems, or it is the policy. But what we want to focus on is to make sure that those particular components are improved, so that not only 5 settlements that Thando works in or focuses on, but hundreds and thousands of settlements can gain access to improved waste removal services because of that one particular change, whether it's a policy, whether it's a budget, whether it's a bylaw. That one thing can change like millions of lives.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I want to interject here with a question. You come in with plans, ideas, as well as implementation roadmaps into my space as a peri-urban settlement. How have people received your proposals? Because there's also a mindset shift that might be happening or might need to happen. But first time around, I see you and you're saying you want to do these things for me. How am I receiving it?
Okay. Question. So are you talking as a municipal official or as a community member?
Good one. I'm talking firstly as a community member and then as a municipal official.
Okay. So informal settlement residents, they frustrated.
Yeah.
So if you live in an informal settlement, you basically don't have much of options. It may happen that you live right next to a dump site. It may happen that people who live in suburbs, they decide, because they have nice cars, big buggies, they can just drive into your settlement and dump right next to you, you know. So we get a lot of positive feedback and residents who really want change. Some residents, yes, they might have, and usually if there's a dump site in an informal settlement, it's usually because they don't have waste removal services. It's not that they want to have a dump site right next to where they live.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to live in a clean area. Everyone wants their environments to be clean and safe, especially people who live in informal settlements where their children play in those dump sites.
Yeah.
You know, it's a serious matter. So they are very receptive in the work that they are doing. And then with municipal officials want to get rid of dump sites. That's all they want. They want to make sure that they are gone, you know. And it, honestly speaking, I've experienced, I'd say, really positive, positive feedback from municipal officials.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say which municipality has been really, really amazing to us.
That one or that other one?
Right? I don't know, because I work with several.
Yeah.
So, but I will. Okay, I don't know if I should say.
You can make a call on it, whether you would want to say or not, but you can say within which region.
Yeah,
within the Gauteng region.
Within the Gauteng region.
Okay. Cool.
Within the Gauteng region, things have been going well. The northern parts of the Gauteng region, okay, they've been very receptive.
Yeah.
And the reason, I think the reason for that is also the work that we've been doing over the years as Asivikelane, sending them those reports every month, saying that, hey, waste in, I don't know, like let's say 10 settlements, it could be 10 to 100 even, settlements per municipality. They haven't received any waste services. And municipal officials become really shocked, because how is that possible when they spend so much money on waste removal services? And they have service providers. How? So a lot of waste departments, it can even be not just the northern parts, it's just that they've been really fantastic. But I've seen with a lot of municipal officials, they are really concerned by that they spend a lot of money on waste removal services and it's not being experienced on the ground. Why? You know? So we haven't been getting a lot of pushback, actually, to be honest with you.
This is
Yeah.
so encouraging because one doesn't always have first-hand ears or eyes on ground to appreciate the work that you and your organization are doing in partnership with communities, right? And I'm hoping that those who will listen and watch this podcast can have restored faith that there are things happening within the space, and importantly, through co-creation and collaboration. You've really unpacked that value chain to see where you fit in and support the different partners. So I'm hoping that a lot of people will draw inspiration from this kind of work and equally raise their hand and say, look, I want to be part of this change. It's really, really awesome. With that being said, where would you say youngsters can fit into this equation and look at the opportunities of waste in dump sites rather than look at the challenges of waste and dump site?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say opportunities, waste. I'm not sure about that word waste.
Okay.
Not everything that is in the dump site is waste. Not everything is waste. I'm also in the process of learning about this because I've focused on different basic services. So I've only started, I'd say, last year to focus a lot on waste, and I'm just doing waste. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'd say the opportunities for young people is firstly they must not look at it as waste. It's not rubbish. Not everything is rubbish. Not everything is waste. And I'd say that they would have to research a little bit more on the different types of waste.
Okay. Taking notes. Okay, we're taking notes. Yes.
There's waste. There's different types of waste, and you can make a lot of money. I've heard of this. I'm gonna try it for myself as well. Okay. But that you can make money off of waste. When people think of money and waste, they think of informal recyclers.
Yes.
And they're really important in the value chain. They see those people that have a trolley walking there and all. They're really important. Those ones are champions.
Thank you.
Like we need them in the value chain. But people must not, I always say that don't be afraid. They must not be afraid of waste because they look at that. When you're driving, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to bump into this person and all that. So people view them in a different way. And you never know that one person might start a cooperative.
Yeah.
And they can literally turn that waste into a product rather, and sell it. They can do so much with that waste, And I really think, even for the informal recyclers, I really think that I wish that we could do more for them.
Yeah.
Because I really think that's just personally me. I think that this value chain is not really working for them that much, I feel like they've been used, but that's a story for another day. And then for young people, their perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective on waste, their perspective on people who are doing recycling needs to change. You must not be afraid of them. They must see this as an opportunity. There are women out there who take their children to school because of recycling, So they need to research on what type of waste they can actually make something out of that particular waste. So I think the opportunities are there. Can't really pinpoint on where they should go or how, but I'd say that before they start on anything, their perspective has to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In good time, we're going to have a conversation with a friend of mine, Siso, He was on the green couch sometime back, and he's got a company called Urban Surfers, and that is exactly what they do. So it would be nice to create such platforms, through conversations of this nature, where you get to really delve into their work and see from a community perspective how they can fit into the work that you're already doing and vice versa. Because certainly there is a lot of opportunity for these urban surfers to continue getting into our communities and separating at source. I mean, that's a pain point for most municipalities as well. Can you, as residents, as organizations, separate at source? If you're not going to do it yourself, at least let's work with those who can derive socioeconomic benefits and impact while they're at it.
Yeah.
So it will be such a wicked conversation that we'll have with him along those lines.
We have to talk about that. That's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and as we round off, how has your experience been on a personal level? Seeing the work that you do come to fruition, seeing the impact that it has on individuals, on communities, on municipalities.
Mm-hmm. Personally, before I go on the personal side, I do want to mention that I don't work alone.
Yes.
Even IBPSA, we don't work alone. We work with organizations that have been working in informal settlements for years, some 30 years. Yeah, over 30 years, some 40. That's Planet, One-to-One, and TLF, Tswane Leadership Foundation.
Yes.
And a bunch of others from, I'm talking about the Gauteng ones, but we have so many more. There's I think like 13 or 10, sorry. Okay. 10 community organizations that we work with that have been working in informal settlements for 4 years. So I don't work alone.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to just put that out there. And then in terms of how it has, you say, changed me or impacted my life, I'd say that it has given me hope. I am so hopeful for this country. I'm hopeful for Africa because seeing communities that barely have anything and people who might not even work say that, okay, I want to clean the dump site, I'll clean it. Or we will find people that dump here. We'll do it ourselves. Seeing that, like there are no words to explain how it feels when you see somebody say that I won't wait. I will work with the municipality, but if I have to do it myself, I'll do it myself.
Beautiful.
So I have more hope. I wish more people could know a little bit more about informal settlement communities.
Yeah.
And understand that there are some people who've made it in life, who were born in informal settlements.
Yeah.
Born and bred in informal settlements, and they've done something for themselves. And I think I'm just hopeful. I'm very excited for the future. I'm excited for things that I want to do in terms of waste in several informal settlements or several municipalities rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I almost feel like saying Viva. It was such a nice ending. Because when you do what you love, nothing beats it. Even on good days, bad days, you are driven. And as you're speaking, I see your glow even coming out. So continue enjoying your work, Thando. Keep enjoying it.
You too.
Well, thank you. So for our viewers and listeners, key takeouts. Waste is not really waste. Waste is a resource. Number 2, be intentional to upskill and read about the different types of waste so that you look for opportunities within each waste category. See what you can sell, what you can trade, what you can make. Number 3, across this waste value chain and many other related subsectors, there are so many partners that make things happen. And so collaboration is the new competition. There's no one person or one organization that has achieved it all by themselves. And it's through the work that Thando and her partners, her team members do, that she can sit here and say she's hopeful for the opportunities, for the activities that are yet to come within our peri-urban areas, not just in South Africa, but across the board. Thando, it really has been super awesome getting to know you, appreciating your work, and celebrating it. I mean, and like I said earlier, I really want more people to hear what you do and draw inspiration from it. So thank you to the moon and beyond for making time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. Until the next episode, let's not waste a single story. Goodbye.